Well, last year we came here. It was the first time that Sundance ventured out of its home base in Utah, the United States. And we came because we were invited, basically, and we thought that rather than come in a big way, it would be wiser, more practical to come in a smaller way, and rather than come in for a week, we would come in for just a few days. And it was kind of like a toe-in-the-water experiment. We did not know how it was going to go. We did not know how we might be received. So that's how it started last year. And we said, well, let's see how it goes. And if it goes well, then we may come back, if we're asked. Because I don't think Sundance would ever insert itself or push itself in any other place. We would come if we were asked and then see how it goes. If it doesn't work, we wouldn't do it again. If it does, we would. So it went well for us, and I guess Alex can speak for himself, but we've been asked back a second year, and we're happy to be back.
I really felt that what impressed my whole team that comes with me here is the notion of how receptive the audiences were, how in the Q&As, because we bring all the filmmakers with us to this event, so there's a lot of interaction. That's what makes the festival festive. That the reaction from the audiences were, I think, foremost in our minds when we decided to come back. And then talking with the filmmakers, I had a really amazing time here. Basically because of the facilities, of course, the projection is kind of amazing. And then just the real experience with the audiences and meeting the new audiences and sort of the notion that their films could travel outside of American borders, I think is what was really exciting for them.
To be honest, I don't think there's too much more to add, but I think you know, from our point of view, it's always, you always think you're going to put together, you're putting together a really great festival, you're working with a great partner, and you think you're going to put it all together really, really well, but you really don't know until you see the reaction of the audience. And last year we saw that it really, really worked, and that's the main thing, is to put on a great event for the fan and for the consumer. So I think that was the key thing for us, and yeah, we're really pleased that it worked. It's great that it's coming back a second time. The only other thing was that you know, what we did know is that people didn't really like the weather last year, so we brought a lovely sun with us this time, so we've hopefully learned from that as well.
Because music and film have become more and more integrated over the last years, and because Sundance is about floating with change. I mean, I think change, we believe change is inevitable, and so therefore we treat it positively and we float with it. I know some people maybe are afraid of change and they react against it, but we see it as positive. So one of the changes that have taken place outside of technology and film coming more and more together is music and film. And rather than just be a background, a backup to a film, or a background effect to a film, as in the old days, it's become more integrated to the point where sometimes music is the film. So because of that, we wanted to take our lab programs and bring that forward. So we have a music lab along with a documentary lab, and then our film lab. And so they kind of coalesce around the merging that's going on in the marketplace.
Well, it's a great opportunity for us to actually see how the films play. So when we go into the Park City Festival cold, and it's just, you're throwing them out there, and so it's really great that we can see. We were looking for films that played, had emotional impact, of course, but also we look to get a very diverse selection to sort of show what we do. So we always put documentaries on the same footing, so we make sure we have documentaries, short films, and an array of different kinds of films, so you get a good sort of idea of what's in Park City and what we support.
I don't think there's any real challenges as such. I mean, the O2 is a 20,000-seater arena. It has a complex that comprises 22 bars and restaurants. We have a 3,000 capacity music club, and we're here in this great 11-screen cinema. So I see it, and we see it as an opportunity to be able to put on fantastic events, and to work with great partners who can bring the O2 to life. And Sundance London absolutely does that. It's a great artistic and cultural event, and you're right. Really, we have been historically known for music events, but I think this really demonstrates that we can produce diversity of content in its best form.
Well, aside from the fact that it's a pleasure to be in London and see London, we probably won't get to see much of it, but there's a purpose inside of what we've just described that Sundance is about, and that is because we are about giving opportunities to new voices in film, and focusing on independent film. When we started, there was no real category for that, so I think probably we fed that, if not enhanced it. The idea of coming here is to bring these films, because we were asked to come, and we were asked to bring American films to London. And so those films are films of new filmmakers who we feel have new voices that tell new stories in different ways. And we want to share that. We want to share that with other people. But beyond that, it's giving those filmmakers an opportunity for their work to be seen outside the United States. Maybe there's an overall hope that in doing that, because we also, when we have our festival, we bring films from other countries to Sundance, and maybe if you want to get big-minded about it, you would say, well, maybe we're helping to create a film as a cultural exchange, show how other people are living, particularly with documentaries, how other people living in other countries, what their burdens are, what their struggles are. Then we show what ours are. Whereas maybe larger mainstream films are more focused on pure out entertainment, which is good, but their stories might be told a little bit differently. So that's primarily our purpose, is to bring that concept here to London and share it with the people here.
I really like the celebratory nature of a festival. I like the part of, we created a hub like we're going to be hanging out in, so we're looking to talk to audiences, which we don't always get to in Park City. We do a lot of running around, and actually being here with these filmmakers again for the second time is sort of like after honeymoon sort of thing. So it's like really, it's really fun, and it's a great city to be in.
I think it's a variety of the content and everything there is to offer. So there's some great movies, some fantastic music content, some great special events, great short series, and there'll be a great vibe around the place. As Cooper says, the hub is a great place for people to hang around in. There's a fantastic market, so there's some great things that you can see, not just above the content, but it's the festival as a whole, and the vibe that all brings together.